Hi, everybody. My name is Susan Figge, and I'm your instructor for the next 6 weeks. Some of you have had me before, and some of you haven't. So I'm going to just give a brief introduction to who I am. I was a police officer, and I'm a retired police officer for the Westfield Police Department. I was there 32 years. During that time, I investigated serious crimes that included sexual assault, homicide, child abuse, injury recognition. I taught interview interrogation. I taught at the academy, the police academy in Western Mass, and also throughout the state, as well as regional statewide as well. I was one of the founding members of Women in Criminal Justice for Western Mass. I was the only female on my job for a long time and had a lot of things that happened during that time period because it was a brand new time period for women in law enforcement. I love teaching at Bay Path College. I have been teaching here for over 10 years, somewhere around 15, I think, but who knows, because it's been fun. I love teaching non-traditional women. I was also non-traditional. I went on to school after I had my babies. I finished my master's when I was 40 and have been teaching pretty much the entire time I've worked, either as a police officer or even after retiring. Almost in the criminal justice field, because I think there's no better job than in the criminal justice field. Keep in mind, many people don't understand that the criminal justice field is this huge umbrella of jobs that are out there, whether it be in law enforcement or it's in probation or it's in victim advocacy. Those are all under that umbrella. There's so many, many avenues you can go with a criminal justice major, and I welcome you all aboard. I'm teaching this class. This is probably going on my 8th year teaching victimology criminology. And I love this class. It's very insightful, and it can get people mad, and it can make people stop and question themselves. What I really want you to do when you're doing this class is I want you to sit there and think about what exactly is the issue. Are we just looking at the outside of it? Are we looking at the inside of it? And I'll give you an example. On Ferguson, we're going to be looking at Ferguson. What really was the issue with Ferguson? And I'll talk a little more about Ferguson because I think that if you read the Attorney General's report, you might get a different insight as to what happened. I want to go over, now I go on to like the housekeeping rules. I am a stickler for some rules, but I also know that life happens. So let's talk about some of the new things that have happened and that the school has put out there. They want to make sure everybody knows. So let me see if I can find it here for you. One is your work. When is your work due? If you don't get your work in for the first week, what will happen is nothing will be accepted after 11:59. I want you to look at the new late policy for school. There was a new late policy, and the school is very adamant that we will all go by it. And I'm glad that they are, because I was forever getting paperwork and they'd be like, oh no, you can accept this, and I really can't. So if you're having a problem with getting work in late, and as I said, there is issues, you need to notify me in advance that there's an issue. I give everybody my telephone number, and I'm hoping you have a pen in your hand right now, and I will write it, and I'll send it to you as an email as well, but it's 413-883-3537. And my email address is sfigge@baypath.edu. Please send me either a text or an email. For the next 3 weeks, I would appreciate an email because I think it'll be easier for me to get. All right. Your papers and your work is always due. If you don't do your discussion on time, you can't get any credit for it. It has to be done because the rest of your class relies on you. So let's go to what the first assignment is. We're going to discuss the evolution of crime. I love the discussion of evolution of crime. Why? Let me get that over there. Is because what occurred within the evolution of criminal laws and how society influences legal changes. Every single day, the laws are changing. How are they? Let's just look at the marijuana laws. Let's look at the sexual assault laws. They all change. Why are they changing? How has evolution, when we look at evolution of crime with women, how has that changed? I mean, we've only had the vote for, since 1920. How has that changed? And while we're on that, ladies, we have an election coming up. Make your voice heard. So look at the evolution of criminal laws and how society influences legal changes. You know, there's so many laws you can look at that have changed dramatically since even the last 5, 10 years. So I look forward to that. You have to have 250 words, which brings me to the next. Your post has to be 250 words, and you have to put your site where you got your information. You can get it out of your book, you can get it off the internet. You certainly have enough area to find this information. One of the places you can never, ever, ever search is Wikipedia or use it as your resource. It doesn't mean you can't go to Wikipedia and look and see where they got their resources, but you can never use them as your resource. And that's, you know, across the board, you will be marked down for that. So you know that. You also have to have 3 replies of 150 or more words. I count every single one of these, just so you know. I pretty much know how much 250 words and how much 150. It shouldn't be that hard because this is so in the news. Much of this you can get right out of off the internet, the evolution of crime. You could get it off of yesterday's news. We can look at how our elections are looking, how our federal judges, the SJC, how has that been affected with the president, and how laws have changed just with that. That's your discussion. The next thing you have that's due is, let me get back there, is going to be your assignments, police and protesters. Now, this one is probably the easiest one to write about because all you have to do, I'm looking at my camera is flashing, so that tells me that there might be an issue. Hopefully not, but it's just probably my face you're not looking at. When we look at this, we need 200 since 2014 until present. You can look yesterday at what happened. Look at police brutality. Look at how it's changed for police. Why is it that now a lot of people don't want to go into police work? So with that, I'm going to close because you probably all want to get started. But if you have any questions, again, you can text me 413-883-3537, or you may send me an email. I'm always willing to help you. Best of luck.